Yo, what up everyone? It's Papa Swoleo. Let's flex it.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
What up, Instagram? What up, Facebook? I'm on both today. I've been rocking on all cylinders. Papa Swoleo has been Papa fucking amped. What up, Beaches? What up, Beaches? What up, the Swole Beaches? Swole Nation, Swole Beaches. Welcome, everyone, to episode 405 of the Daily Mother Swole. The most muscular podcast, livecast, broadcast, Swolecast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex. Put the coffee down for this one. We all flex. Our biceps looking large and in charge. I hope you're flexing with Papa Swoleo. We're going to get yoked like it ain't no joke. And as always, getting swole, getting jacked, getting yoked from our head to our feet, because Papa Swoleo goes balls deep. We're going all the way to the taint, all the way to the shoulder. Full-fledged knowledge fisting today, and today only. We're talking about insulin. We're building upon the nutrition webinar, the nutrition Swolenar, the nutrition awesome fucking knowledge nuke fest. So it's pretty much like, I equate last night's premium webinar to like a nuclear, it was like, I mean, if you're in premium and you were there for the webinar, how'd you like it? Was it or was it not like a nuclear holocaust in terms of knowledge nukes? It was like the nuclear holocaust of nukes. It was just absolute, just firing of just nuclear, it was just destruction. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So today we're going to a little bit deeper. Thanks for joining me live on Facebook every day at 12 noon Eastern time. Thanks for watching today, actually. Thanks for watching on Instagram. Am I there? Whoa, hey, yeah, whoa, wait, hold on, hey, ho. Yeah, there we go. Thanks for watching, sorry. I actually almost dropped something. And so Papa Swoleo is live everywhere. I'm live everywhere. Papa Swoleo in the fucking house. And don't forget, you can catch all these episodes if you miss one, if you want to rewind it, you don't want to watch it, rewatch it on Facebook. I don't know why you wouldn't. You can comment like a motherfucker. But you can watch all these episodes on YouTube and listen to the SoundCloud and iTunes podcast. So you can fuck your ear holes, your eye holes. I gotta do a beard episode. Where I just go live and groom my beard. So let's talk about it. Bat it. So float some hearts, float some thumbs if you're alive. Come on, wake the fuck up. Let's go, Daily Swole peeps. You know what? Are we gonna have to go back into this again? That don't just sit there and watch me. You actually have to participate. Float some hearts and float some thumbs. Yes, thank you. Oh, thank you for doing me a favor. I'm up here just slaving away for you. Yeah. What up, Phil? What up, Beaches? What up? That coffee is strong as fuck today. So, remember, stay tuned on Facebook for the next Daily Swole Club. If you're awake, there's so much to look at though. I know. Let's do this. Let's talk about everyone's favorite word, or what you may not know about insulin, and why your garbage food fucks you, why all this stuff screws you over. And I've heard a lot of people throw this word around and not know what the fuck it means. Insulin is a hormone. Let's get into it. Insulin is a hormone. Insulin is released by the pancreas when there is sugar present in the system. So when you eat food, your body digests and breaks it down. Breaks down the food. Then your body absorbs it. No way. No fucking way. Yes way. It absorbs it into the bloodstream through the small intestine. And then you got glucose molecules present. At that point, your body gets wind of this and says, holy shit, there's sugar present. Let's release some insulin. And insulin is like the taxi driver. So you have the sugar, okay? Here we go. You have the sugar in the bloodstream. So this is the sugar. And yes, I'm drawing a taxi cab. Or should this be an Uber? Okay, so you got the steering wheel. So this is the insulin, which is a taxi. So you have the insulin that will pick up the sugar and then take it to the muscles and to the liver where it needs to go. Muscle, liver, wherever your body is depleted, because your liver stores glycogen. So you have, this is the glucose, the sugar molecule, and I'm just keeping this very simple and general for right now. Your body takes the sugar and packages up in forms of glycogen. So your body takes several glucose molecules and puts it together. It's called glycogen, and then stores it away. It's like you putting stuff in a box and putting it in the closet for later. Then when your body wants to access it, your body has to take the glycogen out, chop it up into glucose, and then send it around so your body can use it. And this is what your body uses. Your body uses glucose, your body uses glycogen in order to replenish ATP. We talked about that, I think like a week or so ago. ATP is your body's form of usable energy. So your body takes fat to make ATP. Your body takes sugar to make ATP, and that's just what your body uses. That's like the dynamite, it's like the match. Your body uses actual ATP for energy, but your body takes the sugar and then makes ATP from that. We'll get into that another time. So your body releases this taxi and brings it to the muscle and liver. Now, this is really dependent on you being healthy. This is dependent on the muscle and the liver. It's based on need. Okay? If you're not exercising, you're generally not eating as much. And the reason why you're not as hungry is because your muscles don't need as much fuel when you're not training. So if you're not training, your muscle and your liver aren't depleted. So you're not as hungry. You don't need to resaturate your glycogen stores, right? You don't need to fill up the closet again because it's already filled. You didn't use anything. You didn't take anything out. You didn't take any money out of the bank. You don't have to put money back in because you still have your savings account full. Does that make sense? The reason why people get fucking diabetes and gain tons of weight is because when you don't need, let's say that tank is full, let's say you're already pretty much filled up with all the sugar and glycogen that you need, all of a sudden you're bringing more into the system, and where's it gonna go? Where are you gonna put all glycogen, all the sugar? We'll just say food, right? Or I'll just say sugar. Where are you going to put all the sugar? Your body decides, well, there's no place to put this. There's no place to store this. Your body actually converts this into what's known as triglycerides, which is known as fat. Okay? That's the simple way to explain all this. So your body actually takes the sugar and takes the extra fuel, because look, if you have in your bank account, if you have $10,000, some of you are like, shit, I wish I had $10,000. If you had $10,000 and I said, here, I'm gonna get, let's say you don't need anything else. Let's say you only need $5,000. Let's say you only need, let's say you need $10,000 and you have $10,000. And I say, I wanna give you $10,000 more. Are you gonna say, no, I'm good, I already got 10K? No, you are going to say, fuck yes, give it to me. And that's what your body does. Your body's like extra energy. Remember, your body is designed to survive. Your body goes through life, your body goes through the evolutionary process just for survival. Your body wants to survive. That's all it wants to do. So if your body sees extra energy, it's like, fuck me sideways, give it to me. Give it to me now. Give it to me now. Come on, give me the energy. Now. I want the bacon. I want the cupcakes. Give it to me. Give me the cake. Now. You get Arnold coming out. So your body wants this extra energy. So it's going to take it and it's going to store it as fat because you don't need it. You have this extra space, so your body is going to store extra body fat. Okay? This is the general concept, because your body, when it senses sugar, insulin's released, and the insulin, the taxi driver drives around and is like, well, where do we take this thing? Well, let's bring it over here and make some fat and store it for later. And then you get fat. When you're exercising right after they call that, you probably heard the anabolic window, this, that, and the other. When you're exercising, you have this depletion. So you have all this space that needs to be filled. So then when you have sugar, and then insulin comes, and then fills it up. Because you're resaturating, you're refeeding the muscles, you're giving your body what it needs to repair. You're giving your body more fuel again, so that's a good thing. Your body likes that shit. Your body likes that shit. If you do too much, you're gonna have this extra area where you're gonna tend to store body fat. Now remember, this doesn't happen overnight. You don't eat a big meal after a workout. You don't eat a big meal on one day and then, oh, I'm fat the next day. That doesn't happen. I'm, fairly lean right now. I'm not trying super hard, but I'm fairly lean. If I have pizza today, I might be a little bloated with water weight. I'm not going to put on 5 pounds of fat. I might put on 3 pounds of water, but it's not going to be fat. You don't put on fat that quickly. You can't consume that much that your body is going to store at one time. Do you understand this? You're not going to store all that at one time. You might store a little bit, then your body's going to crap the rest of it out. It's going to get rid of it because it can't process all that. But it builds up over time. You might put on a pound in a couple days or a week of fat, and then you do that week after week. I mean, come on. You don't gain weight overnight. If you're like, man, I haven't worked out since college, Papa Swole, and I need to lose like 30 pounds. Well, it's been like 10 years. So divide that 10 years, 3 pounds a year. You don't notice that shit. All of a sudden, 10 years later, you're 30 pounds heavier. So it doesn't happen overnight, and you have to understand that it's not going to go away overnight. And I think a lot of you that watch this show, no matter what I say, no matter what fucking nukes I drop right in your face, no matter how many knowledge facials I give you, no matter how many nutrition nuts that I bust all over you, you still think it's going to happen quicker. Because you're not fucking patient, and you're irrational with how quickly it's going to come off. Just because you're exercising. It's like just because you had an epiphany, you're like, oh my God, I need to lose weight. I'm going to do this. I'm going to follow the Daily Swole. I'm going to start the 90-day dash. I'm going to start exercising. I'm going to start training. Okay, great. Congratulations. That's the first step. Good. What do you expect? Like, what do you expect to happen so quickly? You have to understand that it's going to be a process. So how do we minimize insulin? There's a bunch of different ways. I mean, some people like the intermittent fasting. I'm not going to talk about right now intermittent fasting. I'm going to talk about eating small meals regularly because most people are familiar with that. Intermittent fasting, just to glaze over it, it's better for men because women have more sensitive hormone situation in their endocrine system. So it's generally better for men. And this is on an evolutionary standpoint because men are designed to go and hunt and gather food. That's just like, what men do, and it's not a sexist thing. It's just men have more muscle mass naturally and more focused attention naturally for hunting and for protection and for, and women have wider hips for childbearing and can do usually multitask very well, watch the kids, watch TV, cook at the same time because they're aware of their family and protection and the home and nesting and stuff like that. That's just, we're animals. That's just naturally the way it is. I know there's exceptions to the rule, and the way society is now, everyone's, everything is whatever you want to do, which is great, but this is just, like I said, society is developing and things are developing with technology and with food faster than evolution takes place. So maybe in, 100,000 years, we are all curved and rounded and our brains are really big because we're all virtual reality and we're not exercising anymore because the technology is so advanced. Maybe that's the way it is, but we're not going to be like that overnight. That's why we're getting fucked up because we haven't evolved yet to the point where, it's normal. We're supposed to stand, we're supposed to move, and now all of a sudden, boom, we're sedentary and we're getting all fucked up because our body hasn't adapted to that sudden change. Your body doesn't your body adapts, but your body doesn't evolve. It takes hundreds of thousands and millions of years. That being said, let's talk about the release. So if you're eating small meals, this is in general. In general, if you're eating small meals, it's going to look like, well, let's do this. Let's talk about one big meal a day. One big meal a day. It's going to look like this. You have your baseline, and this is what you need to refuel. But because you're getting all your calories at one time, your body can only release so much insulin and absorb so many calories and so much sugar at one time. Right here, this is what you need. Over here is that extra realm of calories you don't need, sugar that doesn't get absorbed and stored as glycogen. It's extra than what you need at that time, and you'll store body fat. The next style is, let's say, 3 meals a day. Now, this is not a guarantee. Just because you eat 3 meals a day doesn't mean that you're going to gain body fat. It depends on your exercise levels. Let me just explain, the tendency or the logic behind eating small meals. So you have what you need here, and you see right now, because you're eating less at each meal and you're challenging your body to absorb sugar less frequently, you have a little bit less of a gap of what you might store body fat. Now this, again, has to do with how many calories you're consuming at each meal. It depends on how many calories you need to replenish. If you're exercising hard, you might not even get to this line. But the idea is that because you're eating smaller meals more regularly, the pattern is less of a roller coaster. It's not like, whoa, all my calories, holy shit, tons of sugar, boom, crash. It's like, oh, little sugar, and there's less likely the situation where you're gonna have extra. Now, if you're doing 5 or 6 small meals a day, the logic behind that, and we'll try to do this properly, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's all I can fit in there. You'll see this little gap. So it's more of a potential to get this gap where you actually burn and metabolize extra fat because it's less than what your body needs at the moment for your caloric intake. Your body starts looking elsewhere. And where does it start looking? It starts looking for the stored fat you have on your body, the extra fat. Because you have, remember, money in the bank account. You have extra that you don't use. Remember, it's not something that you need, it's storage. It's something you put in the closet they don't use often. So then you go there and you take it out and you're like, holy shit. This is something where you can have a deficit. Okay? Now, that's what you're looking for. Now, of course, that's also going to come down to total calories. Let's say you need this many calories in a day and you're trying to lose weight. You obviously, if you have one meal, you want to eat less. And that's like intermittent fasting. Let's say you eat all within a certain period. You know, this is how much like, you know, to maintain. Maybe you're maintaining right here. Okay, and you have this little gap here. You know, if you maintain with 2,000 calories and you're eating 3,000, you know, what do you think is going to happen? So, in a pound of fat, if we're just doing numbers here, there's 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. So if you're eating 1,000 calories extra a day, it's going to take you 3, 4, 5 days to put on a pound of fat. So don't think you eat pizza one night and you gain 5 pounds of fat. You're bloated, you're retaining water, and your sodium levels are super high, and you feel bloated, and you feel like shit, and you feel inflamed because you ate dairy, you ate cheese, and you ate bread, and you may be gluten intolerant, who knows, and you just ate crap with tons of sodium and preservatives, and you fucking feel like shit. So your mental approach and how you feel mentally is just as serious as the actual calories you're consuming. So if you're eating one meal a day, and one of the logic or one of the concepts behind intermittent fasting is that if you're eating one time a day, you're less likely to overeat because how many calories are you gonna eat in one meal? Let's say you eat 2,000 calories. Have you ever tried to eat 2,000 fucking calories in a meal? And we're talking like good food. We're not talking about pizza and shit. But like 2,000 calories within like a small window, you're not as likely to overeat because it's hard. You'll get full. You know, you'll be really hungry, but 2,000 calories of chicken, rice, steak, beef, eggs, you know, sweet potatoes, it's hard to eat that many calories, especially if you're eating from like 2 or 4 p.m. until like 8 p.m. at night. Like a 4 or 6 hour window, it's hard to eat that many calories in a small window. It is. So that's the logic behind intermittent fasting, but smaller meals throughout the day can be beneficial to you. And you're gonna have to find what works for you best, because I sometimes do an intermittent fast, but I don't do it regularly. After a few days, I just don't like it. I feel flat. I'm not trying to lose weight. I just don't like it in terms of like growth. I just don't feel like it. I don't like carb cycling. It's too much focus for me. I don't fucking like it. This is like important for those of you that are, if you're really struggling. Remember, if you are struggling and you have like these fucking issues and you can't bust it, you can't break through these barriers, you have to try different shit. And if you're not writing it down, if you're not being dedicated enough to be analytical, then you don't really give a shit. Like if you want to make a change and you're struggling with results and you tried everything I did all this and I did all that and I did all that. If you really did, if you really are doing anything, you really want it bad enough, then you'll try these different things. So you might want to try smaller meals. You might want to try intermittent fasting. You might want to read up more about that. But you can do these things and see some change. But insulin is very real. And what happens is if you eat in excess, and I'll do this in closing, if you eat in excess all the time and you're eating, and this is what it looks like, if you're eating sugar and crap and processed foods, sugar gets into the system very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. You'll spike. And that's why you feel like shit, because you hit these fucking dips when your body crashes. And then you're also getting all this extra where your body is just in that fat storage zone because you're spiking because you're eating shit. And that's when you're eating processed foods, when the sugars get up into the bloodstream super quickly, insulin gets blasted, and what happens over time is eventually the receptors that say, oh, hey, insulin, yeah, bring that sugar in. you get immune response. Those receptors get so used to seeing insulin around because you're eating so much shit all the time. The receptors that accept the sugar from the insulin says, you know what, fuck this, too much. And they become non-respondent. And that's what diabetes, type 2 diabetes is. It's an insulin resistance. Your body has so much insulin in the bloodstream bringing sugar all the time. Eventually your body says, you know what, fuck this, and just becomes immune and ignores insulin. And then you have the issue of having sugar too high and you can fuck yourself up. And that doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it's genetic, but and it doesn't have to do with being overweight. You don't have to be 500 pounds to be a diabetic. It's directly related, but it's not the only way. You can be skinny and be a type 2 diabetic. It depends. Okay, so that's the risk. Don't be stupid. If you're not exercising, stop eating crap. You don't need to refuel and eat tons and tons of sugar, and after workout have 200 grams of carbs and 200 grams of sugar. Don't use that as an excuse to fucking eat like a bucket of ice cream because you just want to binge and you have no self-control. After workout, you need to replenish, but you don't need to suck down, 100 grams of sugar and drink like fucking corn syrup to replenish from your super hard chest workout. The chest is a small fraction of the body. You didn't train that fucking hard to deplete that much. Have a little sugar, have a little, protein, and have like a meal after, and just fucking get back on your pony and get back on your shit, whether you're intermittent fasting or doing small meals or what have you. And you're not gonna know what works for you until you try it, so stop talking about it. If you wanna try fasting, then fucking try fasting. If you wanna try small meals, then fucking try small meals. Stop talking about it like you've tried everything. Get analytical, start getting detailed. Like the webinar last night, start writing your shit down if you need to see what you're actually doing, because you can't change what you don't know you're doing. All that good shit. Thank you so much for joining me for 405. I'll see you tomorrow for 406. Thanks for watching on Instagram. What up, IG? Thanks for watching on Facebook every day at 12 noon Eastern time. Checking me out on YouTube and also the SoundCloud and iTunes podcast every damn motherfucking day for the most muscular podcast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex. Peace out. Peace, McGee's. Deuce, Magoose. I'll see y'all tomorrow.